You remember.
Roll your stealth roll.
Game books, pencils, pizza, cheese puffs, and a hell of a lot of dice.
And the dragon woke up.
Roll for initiative. This is the Roll for Initiative podcast, where 1E is the place to be.
This is the Roll for Initiative podcast. We're on issue number 164, volume number 3. This week I'm joined by our usual cohorts of madness, Nick.
Hello, everybody.
Who's on slight delay, and Matt.
Hello, everyone.
This week we have a great show. We're reviewing another module we found on the Drive-Thru RPG Now, called A Little Bit of Thievery. It's meant for 5th edition, but can be modified for any edition that you'd like. It's a little bit more of a thinking man's module, so you may have to bear with it a little bit, but it's a really good turn, different than, go to the basement, kill me 4 rats, and you'll be all golden good with me, man. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a good. If you're looking for a good hack and slash, this isn't it. But if you're wanting to mingle around and do a lot of talking in a aristocratic party, this is your thing. This is the a social club drinking game, you could say.
There's the module cover right there. A little bit of thievery.
Ooh.
The giant raven.
Ah.
The giant raven that's only supposed to be a figurine, but look how large that raven is compared to the gentleman standing
This
next. Yes, Nick?
It's representational or only not scale.
It's a very off-scale figurine, but anyway. So we're going to go right into the usual. Nick, you got some stars for us this week?
Yes, I do. I have some starred reviews, and we're at 194 stars right now on iTunes. So if you ever want to give us a review, good, bad, or indifferent, go ahead and head to iTunes, and at the iTunes store, go to type in Roll for Initiative, and just navigate your way there. So I got 2 reviews. One not so good and one good.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have our first one is a 2-star review from Almost New Listener.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I'm only recently getting into the older editions of D&D. I was so happy to find a podcast based around the new interest of mine. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be listening to this after all hearing the half-ass sarcasm and defense of the show during the first segment. Okay.
All right.
Why acknowledge reviews that bother you? I don't want to hear you guys arguing with a comment. I came here for D&D, not an internet argument. Well, expletive deleted. The issue I'm listening to is Volume 3, Issue 104. I don't know if I'll listen to any others.
Aww.
Well, may I have a rebuttal?
No, this is my rebuttal. Nothing.
Okay, well, I have one.
No rebuttal.
No?
No, we have no rebuttal. The only thing
No editorial rebuttal at all?
No. Like the gentleman said, why bother wasting time arguing over something and defending the show? All we have to say is,
Okay.
Matt puts the time codes on. You don't like something, fast forward to that time code. You want to hear something. Have a nice day. Thank you for the review. We appreciate the feedback. We will continue to move forward in that fashion. Nick, please move to the next review.
Meanwhile, I shall. And that's from Jackie L3939, and it's a 5-star review. And Jackie L3939 says, "Great first edition info, which was what cut my teeth on. Keep up the great work, all." And there you go. That was from Jackie L3939. So thank you very much.
Short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
We read them all.
Yes, we do. And the reason I was confused is because he just threw out the issue, and I'm like, what were we talking about then? So I'm just like, huh? So Anyway,
Volume 3, issue 104, he said?
104. Okay.
It was like, what, 50-something shows? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like,
Yeah,
flashback. 2012. The show, let's just say,
Wow.
considering when this was recorded, the show has evolved since then. It looks like he decided to
Yes.
listen to one of our modular reviews, and we have since rotated co-hosts, so
Oh.
he probably doesn't even know this version of the show exists. So, anyway.
What's the topic of the show?
Yes.
Now you brought it up, Matt.
Slave Pits of the Undercity.
Oh, I remember that one. That was when it was
That was when Willow was around?
the three of us and Will.
Ah.
Yeah. So, that's all we need to know. That's why I was just curious.
I love Will, but he was very opinionated, so maybe that's what part of it. I mean, I probably fed off of Will.
Maybe.
We all fed off of Will, so I don't blame one person. It was all our faults. We've evolved. We've become more evolved people now. So
Yes.
We're more
Yeah.
sensitive.
We are more refined.
It's all about feelings.
anyway, Nick, what have you been doing lately? I haven't heard from you in a while.
What have I been doing lately? Good question. Well, we've been at my my friend's house, Jeff. He and I are alternating between the campaigns. I think I mentioned that in the past. I'm running Land of 1,000 Towers, the anomalous subsurface environment.
Yeah.
I'm doing that, and I'm doing that every other month. And the other months, Jeff's doing Star Wars D6.
Cool.
So that's going real well. In fact, it's his turn to do Star Wars. Last time when I ran it, I ran Land of 1,000 Towers. It was really fun. They finally got in to Mount Rendon and start seeing some weird stuff, but they haven't gotten to what I would say. They haven't gotten to the point where they're like on the show Lost, you know? They're like, what's going on? So they haven't gotten to that yet. So I'm hoping next session, which probably will be next month, I'll be able to unleash that craziness upon them. So, but other than that, not really much. Just waiting to go to Origins. So, which is in a couple weeks from now from this recording. So, can't wait to do that. I'm slotted as far as AD&D adventures to go into what would then module A3 of the Slaver series. So we're actually going to be playing through that one. Pardon me. And the next night, we're going to be playing through, I'm really excited about this one, Expedition to the Barrier Peaks.
Yeah.
That's going to be so much fun. We're going to have sharks with frickin' lasers on their frickin' heads. It's going to be great. So, and we're going to play our normal stuff. We'll play Star Wars D6 and a couple of Call of Cthulhu games. So it'll be really cool. Looking forward to it. So, how about you guys? You went to North Texas RPG Con, didn't you, Vincent?
No, that is depending on when the show goes out, it could be either 2 weeks or a week away, depending on
Okay.
when that drops. It still hasn't gone yet, but I will be going. Yes.
Is it the same weekend as Origins?
Well,
The first weekend of June?
we're in Memorial Day weekend right now, so it's not the next weekend. It's the weekend of the 5th of.
Yeah, that's Origins.
That's what.
It's the same weekend as Origins. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, with Gen Con being early this year, it just kind of threw Origins, pushed them back a couple weeks because they like
Yeah.
having the
But is
2-month
it-
buffer.
They put Gen Con is the first weekend of August now, right?
Right. Yeah. For what I forget, there was I think a specific reason why it was like 2 weeks earlier. Something else I think was going on in Indianapolis at the time. It was because I remember there was one year Gen Con ended up having to change their date because all of a sudden there was a giant NASCAR race in town the same weekend. And it was
Yeah.
like, no, not gonna work.
Yeah, you know, I think I went to that one. The Brickyard 400 was going on or something like that.
Yes.
That was a while ago. I remember it was that same week. That was, I think, in 2000.
I was like,
I want to say 2007.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. And then I remember one year there was like a Colts game. Like Friday night was a Metallica concert. Saturday night was a Colts game. So downtown was just nuts.
Oh, that's right. It was probably it was preseason for the Colts.
Yes. Yeah. So
That might have been
There's lots of other
2006. That might have been
yeah.
that might have been the year I did both Origins and Gen Con when I got back from Iraq, and I said I'm never going to do that again.
Oh, I did Origins and Gen Con from about 2003 to like 2008, 2009. And
That hurts the pocketbook, man.
yeah, then I'm like,
Vince is jealous.
yes.
You did North Texas RPG Con, man.
Right. Well, with me, 2 hours, and I can be at either convention. I'm like centrally located for those two cons, so it's kind of.
Well, yeah, you're not in
the
Cincy.
United States for both conventions, man.
Yes, I could just drive. I could commute back and forth to Gen Con every day if I wanted.
Yeah, I do my comic.
That's a long commute. That's a
Yeah.
long commute, man.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to drink and drive.
Right. Yeah. This year I'm just going to be crashing with a friend since hotels are too expensive.
Matt's sleeping in the bathtub.
Yep.
He's going to be in a van down by the river.
I actually the van down by the river is probably already booked up for Gen Con. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's nuts. Let's go. The amount of people there.
Hopefully, with the announcement coming up for Gen Con, maybe we'll get Minis round 2. Who knows?
Yes. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
You were saying something, Nick?
Yeah, I did see the one thing that you were doing. I meant to ask you, Far and Away Land.
Yeah.
How was that?
What do you mean? How was that? Was it? It's not like a woman or something.
How was playing it through that introductory adventure and all that jazz?
What is he talking about?
You know, the introductory adventure to that Faraway Land role-playing game?
You mean the quick start rules?
Yeah.
What about
Did
it?
you play?
No,
You played, right? How was it?
I wrote them.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wrote the quick.
Well, I
I
saw that there was an adventure for it too.
Oh, that was just an adventure they already had. The author just.
Oh, okay.
The author and creator just combined
Okay.
the introductory adventure that he had with quick
okay.
start rules that I kind of wrote up and then handed to him. I basically wrote up this document. It was like, I don't know, like 20-something pages, maybe close to 30, because I was getting tired of people saying, "What's this game about? How does it work? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to purchase it if I don't know." So I got pissed and wrote this long document, and I gave it to him. I said, "Hey, dude, do you mind approving this so I can get this out to some folks and blah, 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 blah. I promise I don't plan on selling it, and I put references in here to please see the book for more details." And he was like, "Dude, this is awesome. Can I use this for the quick start?" I'm like, sure. So it became the quick start rules, and that's basically so I lit the fire under his booty.
Oh, okay.
And he gave me credit for writing the quick start rules, and he just pretty much edited it on his own and put more new pictures in it. So, yeah, I have a writing credit.
And Faraway Land is kind of like it's sort of like Adventure Time, I guess. The sort of
Kind of.
how it's kind of
Yeah,
like that's kind of a takeoff of that, I guess.
some people say
An
it.
homage, if you will.
I guess maybe because of the drawing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's only a six-sided dice system, so it's really simple to use. And it can be just as deadly as playing an old school edition of D&D if you play it correctly. So I suggest checking out. The quick start rules are free, and it gives you enough to play the first introduction. Actually, you could probably play almost all the modules that are free that the author has given out. Maybe a little stretch, but you can do almost all of them. It's kind of fun, so I would check it out.
All right. I will, definitely.
That's what I've been doing for these last couple of weeks, so I'll just skip to me since Nick jumped over to me. Yes.
Oh, I was trying to give you a segue.
Thank you. Let me drive that
Not the one you ride around on.
No.
No, I don't like not drive around on a segue. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I've been doing other than dodging tornadoes and rainstorms here. Because we've been on tornado watches constantly here in Texas, which is weird. I didn't move to Texas to, have to dodge tornadoes. I figured that was just an Oklahoma thing, but I guess being so north here in Texas, up here they have a lot of tornadoes going on. But luckily, I've only seen one tornado. I don't have that picture on me, but it was a pretty cool picture of a tornado.
Huh.
Yeah, I've been writing a lot of things. I wrote I helped the owner of Faraway Land write the quick start rules, and then also I have a module that's out for Sword and Wizardry called the Purple Lotus.
Ooh, Sword and Wizardry, very cool.
Yeah, for Sword and Wizardry, white box rules. White box.
Nice.
Yeah. It's about, I think, 20-something pages. I'm not sure.
Nice.
I did it with my good buddy Fitz from Mobius Adventures.
Okay, yeah.
He did the editing and additional material and the layout, and he's a master expert at that. And without him, the module would be a piece of crap on the table, probably. But thanks to Fitz, it's now a shiny piece of crap on the table. So
Polish that poo up as much as you can.
Yeah. That's really what I've been doing, and preparing for North Texas RPG Con. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I'm going to try to record, but I need to figure out how to do it this year, because last year the recording just kind of sounded like, I was inside of a box, and the box had a box on top of the box. I didn't like the recordings. I need to talk to Matt privately and figure out what the hell to do to record and stuff like that. Maybe tackle Matt and drag him to North Texas and his stuff. I don't know.
It just seems like he could go to either convention whenever he wants to.
Yeah, I just show up wherever. Poof. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, the advantage of having friends that live in both cities.
True.
Yeah, true.
True. Just preparing for that. I know that Eric Tankar of Tankar's Tavern is going to be running a couple far and away land things, so I'd like to get in that.
Oh, cool.
And then the cast of Save or Die will be there in full force, running around, doing their thing. Jim Wampler from DCC, Spellburn will be there as well.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, he'll be there. And they have a lot of good guests this year. I'm trying to think of Jeff Grubb will be there running. No, is it Jeff Grubb? I think Jeff Grubb. Yeah, I think so. And the creator of Top Secret. Who's the creator of Top Secret? Merle. I can't think of his name offhand. Sorry, dude. He's going to be there running the games. So.
Nice.
Go to North Texas RPG Con for more details. It is in the Fort Worth area of Texas.
Rasmussen.
I think that's it.
Merle
Rasmussen.
Yeah, that's the dude. Yeah, that's the dude.
Yeah.
He'll be there running games, and I know Jeff Grubb is supposed to be showing up as well, running some Marvel things, so that should be fun. They actually get some pretty good guests. The Legends will all be there, of course. Tim Cass, Frank Benzer, Janelle Jacquet. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her last name. Because we all thought it was Jacquet's, and then Mike finally asked her on Save or Die, and she was like, "No, that's not how my last name was said. It said blah 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 blah," and we were all like, "Oh, sorry, man.
Huh?
We've been pronouncing it wrong for like 20-something years." And she's just like, "Oh, no big deal. I really blah blah blah." But she'll be there in full force, running just about everything. Jeff D will be there running his usual. What is that? Tenkmol, right? Tenkmol? Something load. I don't know what it's called. And Villains and Vigilantes 3rd edition. So, yeah, be there or be.
Yay.
We're also, for the folks that want to watch the show every Sunday, well, every other Sunday, we have our shows live around 12 noon Eastern time. The show will start. We have a button on there. You can ask questions during the show, and we can comment them during the show, or you can just watch it later on YouTube when the show drops live via. I shouldn't say live. When the show drops on our feed, then the video should be up too, so you can watch the video of our ugly faces talking back and forth, and me wearing my C Nation hat representing. Right, Matt?
Right, yes, because you can't. If you're listening to the audio only, you can't see him.
And I see a note. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, well, thank you, Nick.
Oh, I could have said that, but I wrote it in chat. I was being nice.
No, it's good. The new Hangouts actually will do is if you type a message, it pops up a little bubble above your face at the bottom, and it says 1 p.m. Eastern. So I said, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Over to you, Mr. Matt. What have you been doing?
Oh, well, tonight after we get done recording, I'm meeting up with my weekly group, and I think we're going to try out L5R. One of the guys is talking about wanting to run that. I've never played it before, even though I do have either the 3rd or 4th edition rule book. Picked it up at a game store for like 90% off when they were going out of business. So that should be interesting. Board gaming wise, we've got quite a few different games on the table because our GM for our TMNT game has been out and about because he actually went to the Palladium Open House and was running games in the Palladium Warehouse in Michigan, which if you've never done that, that's actually really good times. You get the game with all the Palladium writers, and they actually set up tables in their warehouse, so you're surrounded by piles of like Palladium books, playing Palladium games.
Wow.
So yeah, it's good times, and they also
So
always
cool.
find random stuff to auction off. Like they were auctioning off microfiche copies of some of their books, where they had like the pages they would send to the printers. They had extras of these laying in the warehouse from like old editions that they're never going to use again. So they were selling those for like $2 a page. They'll find like random art that was tucked in a drawer. Hey, let's sell this. So you can always pick up some cool memorabilia there. Then, yeah. Let's see. Board game wise, we played last week. We played Metro. It's like a tile laying game for a Euro game where you're laying out subway tracks in 1988 Paris. And other than that, though, just the gaming's been a little lax. Just so hopefully we'll be able to get back into the groove with like the convention season really starting to hit. Because hopefully I'll be making an appearance like Sunday at Origin. But it's still kind of up in the air. Just go around, know about the exhibit hall for a little bit since you can do the family pass for relatively cheap.
Well, let me know if you're going to come up on Sunday, and I'll try to be around.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe email me, or if I can, I'll send you an email my cell phone number, and
okay, absolutely.
get a hold of me. I think I have one event. I think we're doing a Star Wars game that Sunday. I just don't quite recall what time it is. So
okay. Cool. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely let you know when I'm going to be up there. Yeah, considering the one and only time we met was just randomly wandering through the halls of Origins like a few years.
Yes, that was hilarious.
It's like you're like, oh wait, that's my podcast. Yeah, I want it free on your podcast. And then I know a couple months later. Yeah, couple months later, I'll actually be your producer. So,
which reminds me, I should probably get a new RFI T-shirt. So, are we doing those through Cafe Press? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Cafe Press, right?
You can still go to our website and purchase the retro RFI shirt through Cafe Press, or I was thinking about doing the they call T-shirt spree campaign things, spree shirts or whatever they're called. They're a little bit cheaper and
spread shirts.
No, it's like spree shirts. It's called.
Okay.
No, that's spreadsheets.
No, it's actually called spree shirts. I think, yeah. It's kind of like a campaign type thing. When you, I don't know.
But once you hit like so many pre-orders, then the print run goes out, and then you hit so many more in another one, something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, so it's kind of like a Kickstarter sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get you.
Kind of like how GMT sells board games, where on their P500 list, they don't actually go to print, and you don't get charged until they get 500 pre-orders. Then they'll do a print run.
Nice.
So
anyway, yeah. that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably head into the module review with our good friend Nick.
Oh, I guess so.
This podcast is brought to you in part by a not very generous grant from Lesser Gnome, publisher of quality role-playing games since last year. Gnomes value high-minded programming just like you. Learn more at their website at www.lessergnome.com.
Typical. Of all the evil creatures in the world, I'd like to find one with table manners.
What are you kidding me? I spent years cultivating the worst table manners on the planet.
Table manners.
Alrighty then, so here we are in Table Manners. We're going to do a module review, and it's a module off of Drive-Thru RPG, and it's a pay-as-you-want module, and it's called A Little Bit of Thievery.
Wow.
So it's and the little subtitle is A Larceny-Based Adventure for Morally Ambiguous Level 1 Characters. So
Aren't
that probably
all characters
gets...
Aren't all characters at level 1
For the
morally
most
ambiguous?
part. Most characters are morally ambiguous at any level. So
Yeah.
I've come to the belief that, whatever alignment's written on your character sheet, after a while, everybody's just really chaotic neutral. So anyway. So this adventure, the premise is you're a low-level, first-level party, and you have been hired by a man by the name of Cyrus the Spider. And he has been hired by a man by the name of Cyrus the Spider. He has been hired by another man named Martus to steal back a silver raven. A silver raven figurine. As Vince said, is actually smaller than what's pictured on the cover. So it's probably only I would guess at the most 5 inches tall. Would that sound about right?
Figurine.
Yeah. So, what was that?
Figurine should be pretty small. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it should be more than a few inches. So, but this figurine that Martus or Mortis Loyalar originally had, he offered it as collateral on a bridge loan to a man by the name of Lord Barrister, who's the richest lord in all the land. Now, he couldn't make payment on the loan. Martus couldn't make payment on the loan, so basically the Lord but took possession of this silver raven figurine, which has some sort of magical enchantment on it. And they do give in the adventure, which by the way is initially written for 5th edition D&D, but it can be easily modified for any other edition that you want. This raven has an enchantment called Drift Globe on it, which I guess is from the Rise of Tiamat supplement for 5th edition, but you could probably supplement whatever sort of magical enchantment for you as the DM would suit your campaign. So they're hired, basically the party is hired to steal back this figurine. The problem is most of the time this figurine is locked away, hidden from view, and it's very, very difficult to get to, except for this one time where the adventurers are going to get, it says tickets, that sounds kind of cheesy. I would change it to some sort, call it invitations. But it says tickets in the adventure. But they get invites to a party that Lord Martin Barrister is holding.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have an opportunity, the adventuring party will have an opportunity, many different opportunities, I should say, to try to steal the Silver Raven back to Martus Loyalar. And I think they're going to be given total 100 gold pieces plus expenses. So it's really up to the party to figure out how they're going to take possession of this silver figurine of a raven. Now, there's multiple different ways in the adventure that the writer gives ideas, I guess, hints to how you can maybe go about this. And one way is, I thought this was really funny, is that the party, when they go into this gathering, this little soiree, if you will, there is a gift shop, which I thought was a little odd. You know, it's like you walk into somebody's home and like they have a gift shop. You know, I just thought that was a little weird. And then, guess what they have at the gift shop, folks?
What?
They have in the gift shop, you could buy replicas of that figurine.
Ooh.
Ooh. There's one way that you can, the old switcheroo, you know, distract everybody, say, look, a baby wolf. And they'll all go, huh? And then you swap it out. No, it's not that easy.
Yeah,
If it was only that easy, right? Because the figurine, while it's on display, is, I believe, under a glass case, and there is a very large, heavily armored fighter that's standing by this figurine at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one way that you can, at least some way to swap out the figurine and by causing a distraction in some sort. Another way that, pardon me, that you could swap out the figurine is there is a garden,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a very well made out map, and there's a garden, and there's one of the NPCs, actually Martis is there, and he's looking around in the garden, and he's looking at it says here he appears to have had several glasses of wine, so he's a little drunk.
No.
And he listlessly stares at it. What's that?
No, I'm sorry.
All right.
Continue.
Oh, yeah, so he's like looking at I guess a small plot of hemlock plants.
Mm-mm.
Hemlock.
Yeah.
Yes. I love the little comment, the paragraph below it. I have to read this. If he is approached by the players, Martis will remark that, quote, he used to own that statue before that pompous barrister unlawfully took it from him, unquote. He also says he will point out that the Lord Barrister is, quote unquote, a total jerk. It just kind of struck me as, I don't know if, he's such a total jerk. He says it like Napoleon Dynamite or something like that. Oh my God! Such a total jerk took my figurine. I'm gonna back. I'm gonna sick my Liger on him. I'm sorry, but anyway, I just thought total jerk. All right, I don't know if I'd change that up a little, but there's another opportunity for the party, particularly if you have thieves in your party, and which I hope you do for this adventure, to use some sort of skill to create a, maybe put hemlock in somebody's drink, and if not outright kill them, but incapacitate someone, which again causes a distraction. They got to get this person out, and next thing you know, you'll be able to hopefully swap out the figurines. Another way is like making Martis, basically goad him into an altercation, as it says. So there's another way that basically cause a fight, and those are some suggestions that they give out as far as what the DM could look forward to. I don't know that you're supposed to actually give these suggestions to the party. I wouldn't. I'm like, they have to figure it out themselves,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think those were given as for when you're running this, you have an idea of some potential places the players could go, even though they'll probably go somewhere else entirely. Like my party would probably start a fire. They would light something on
Yeah.
fire and burn the place down, and in the process steal the Raven.
Well, before the show, Nick,
Right.
a good suggestion. Why don't you just wait till the party's over and then steal the damn thing afterwards when everybody's sleeping?
Right.
But
Right. Exactly.
I believe the whole premises of this is that this is the only time it's on display to the public. Kind of like how in the museum when National Treasure, or Leverage,
Right.
the thieves are always like, "Oh, I'm going to get that diamond," but it's only on display. And meanwhile, it's going to be locked up afterwards. So, I think this Raven's only out display.
Yeah, I think that was
They have to wait for it.
exactly right. Right. Because I know my group of people, they'd be like, sure, we'll go to the party, but we're just going to stake out the place, and then we're going to come later when there's nobody to bug us,
Right.
and then steal it.
Now-
Well, by that time, more than likely, that the Silver Raven's going to be locked away at the end of the party. Then what are you going to do? First little party trying to get into an area inside this castle or keep, whatever it may be, which is more than likely going to be guarded with some very it's going to have some really good locks and probably some magic protections, I would guess.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, go ahead, try that, see what happens.
Yeah.
Can
Or-
you say TPK?
Yeah. I could also see the party maybe double-crossing Martis and trying to win favor with the Lord by saying, Martis is trying to hire us to steal that Raven. You should have us take him out. Hand over some gold. So you could even do
You know
the
what?
whole
That would be another
double-
thing my group would do too.
Yeah, the whole double cross. Why would we want to annoy the Lord? Let's get on his good side and maybe get some stuff, and we'll also suck up to him in
And
the
they would do
process.
that.
Yeah. So
You
there's,
know what
there's
they would do
lots.
too?
What?
They would say, I'm sure Barrister would say, well, how much did he offer you? And they would say, oh, like 1,000 gold. Well, I'll offer you 2,000.
Yes.
That's what they would do. I know it. So
Yeah. So
that's another angle.
there's many different directions this can be taken because it is really open-ended, but it does require on the DM side a lot of character role playing. So you better be able to
Mhm.
bounce around from character to character because a lot of this will be them mingling.
Yeah, this module does a
Right.
lot of forcing the players, well, according to the module, the players, not the characters, to do some role playing with the nobles in the room. Otherwise, the suspicion will be turned, and everybody will start thinking that they don't belong. And suspicion,
Right, 'cause they're
eyes
not
will be
mingling.
on them the whole time. So, I mean, while they don't have to talk everything out, and in our edition, everything is talked out, you can substitute
Right.
roles if your players aren't the best of social and they're a little bit awkward. You can do like charisma rolls and things like that. Just make it really low so that it's enough that they can pass. That's what I would probably do.
Yeah, Matt did bring up a point. This one, as far as the DM's concerned, it'd be a lot of work for a DM who isn't used to doing a lot of theatrical, playing out a lot of parts in one part, how should I say, one session.
Yeah.
So, because you have a lot of different people that'll be in this, well, just the people who work for the Lord. You have all those people that they could possibly interact with, plus whatever nobles that you make up, that you bring to this party that's happening. And what I think it makes a good way of, since it's an introductory adventure, there's a golden opportunity to introduce maybe some key NPCs that the party could use in the future for maybe some plot hooks. Maybe you have something, as a DM, as you got your campaign, you envision how your campaign's going to go. Then, you could introduce some of these key NPCs into this, and they can interact with them and talk, and learn a little bit about them. So this is a good way of doing that.
The one thing I was wondering about this module, if you have smart players, they're going to probably want to, since they're like, okay, we have to case the joint, figure out the exits in this place, figure out how to get this small figurine in and out without being noticed. I want a map of the place. Now, as a DM, do you allow them to just give them a map? Because I know a lot of adventures, they just give player maps of the grounds. There's no mention of giving them the map of the grounds of this place. So I would think that you could probably have another adventure of players, the characters, talking like the module now, I would have the characters stalk out the area for the map. I wouldn't just hand them over the map that's in the back without the key numbers on it, of course.
Right.
I don't recall, was there any like secret areas that they wouldn't necessarily know about on that map?
No. Yeah, looking at it, it's actually a fairly simple manner.
Yeah.
The layout. There's one main hallway that leads to the atrium, and there's just doors off of that, and then you have the garden area. So if you could even just talk to a servant, they could probably give you a decent enough layout of the land. Like one of the servants was at a town getting food for the Lord or something, and
give them a couple pieces of gold. What does this house look like? Oh, shh. They draw it up real quick for 5 gold because they're servants. So,
right, yeah.
Right.
So I don't think it would be too difficult for them to get that information. But I wouldn't just hand it over to them. I would make them exert a little bit of effort.
You never know. You could have that loyal servant that's like, "How dare you? I'm telling the master."
Right.
Right.
And then at that point, when they do show up, all of a sudden, that servant sees them, is like, there they are, and then you have the jig is up.
One thing I do want to point out is this module does include bathrooms.
Yes.
Yes. The module itself, or the actual? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
They actually keyed in.
So if you purchase the module, you get a bathroom?
No, it just 2 bathrooms are divided by gender. I'm like, wow, okay, someone actually thought about bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that. Yeah.
Right. So there's not just a bunch of chamber pots stuffed under beds that may or may not be empty.
Ew.
Yeah.
May or may not.
Yes.
So
that would be a good distraction. Chamber pot.
I guess when you go to however they do it, the heist happens. They make the heist happen here, and then there's one little encounter when they're leaving on the road. A few goblins that the party might run into. So people have been hoping for a little bit of combat. You have the opportunity to get it here. So you might encounter some of these goblins, and then after that, there's some ideas after the party which might happen. Say, for example, if the party starts bragging around town about their exploits, and then Lord Barrister finds out, or Lord Barrister, he somehow gets in contact with the Cyrus the Spider, and, well, Cyrus sells out the adventurers. So there's a couple opportunities there where it can really make a mess for the party in the future. Mm-hmm. So you could have, however you play it, Barrister could be a very difficult NPC to deal with in the future unless you're the type of party who will double cross your original employer to Barrister. So
one thing, the Cyrus guy that they have a picture of, which I'll just throw up here on the screen.
Yeah.
Picture. Don't talk, Nick. There's his picture right there. Isn't his finger awfully long compared to the rest of his hand? I mean, come on. Now you can talk.
Well, there's another picture which was a little offsetting too. I think the picture of where is it? It's near the beginning.
Oh, the guy without an arm?
It's the picture of Martus Loylar. Show that one.
Oh, all right, hold on. Yeah, unblur it here, and there you go.
Doesn't his head look like completely off center, like it's not a part of his body?
Well, it looks like he's posing, like, he's kind of like doing a selfie type thing, like this. Maybe he's taking a selfie of himself, right, Matt?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It
could
just looks
be
weird. Like,
old-
it looks like his head's like off center of his body, and he's like, "What is he, double jointed?"
No, he's just doing the little lean because he's doing the ye old selfie.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing a selfie.
Oh, okay.
For a selfie picture, Matt.
Ye old selfie.
Yes.
Ye
What
old selfie.
magical item would be the D&D equivalent of taking a selfie?
I don't know.
Mirror
There has
image.
to be one. Mirror image.
Mirror image.
Yes.
And this guy
he has a.
looks like he's ready to backslap somebody that's taking his picture.
Well, he is the Lord
It is Lord
Barrister,
Barrister, by the way.
so he would.
Yeah.
And he would also. Someone probably dared question all of his exploits that he didn't actually do, but has paintings talking about.
He looks like this. How dare you?
So this module has each room step by step, and it does lay it out pretty well. It does have some nice little descriptions here and there. So a party that wants to sneak around and steal stuff, there's some opportunity to go around from room to room without being noticed and to steal things.
Yeah, it's like you could also have. So you could also have some fun if you go into one of the bedrooms. You could get the Baron's sigil. So all of a sudden,
Yes.
you could go around and start stamping official documents, impersonate. So that could be something that
Yes.
players could have some fun with when they're on the run from the Baron. No, the papers say we're okay. See, it's got a sigil.
You also
Meanwhile, Lord,
get
Lord
caught.
Barrister says, "When did I buy 5,000 goats?"
Yes.
You also, if you get caught, the first time, supposedly you can talk your way out of it pretty easily. The second time, a little difficulty. The third time, you get thrown out. So it takes three times
Yeah.
to be thrown out of the house.
Extra.
So,
Thrice.
so
I'm also thinking about it. This adventure, you could even flesh it out even more. Maybe add another level
yeah,
with some sellers.
Yeah.
And if you want to add a little more combat stuff too, maybe Lord Barrister has literally some skeletons in the closet downstairs.
whoa,
Ooh. Literal skeletons.
Yes.
Yeah, when I read this, I actually feel this is a LARP. I think this could be an
Yeah.
actually rather amusing LARP of all things.
the vampire.
Yes, you could actually he's probably fairly easily do like a vampire LARP out on this. Just because of all the different characters that would be there, you could have who knows how many players, especially if they each have a motivation to everyone's trying to get the Raven. So you have and it ends
Right.
up like a very
Oh.
maybe you
wait a
run
minute,
it with
then.
another group.
Well, here you go. I was just thinking about how many of you are familiar with the old Call of Cthulhu adventure, The Auction?
Nope.
No.
There's an adventure where the party has been invited to an auction of various different quote-unquote occult artifacts. And one of them's like this golden brazen head. And there's like books and other things. You could also twist this around. Maybe Lord Barrister, along with some other things he has, is auctioning off the Silver Raven. And then you have a lot of interested parties that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, I could also see what if someone else was also wanting since the Raven is a magical item, someone else wanted it as well. So there's another group in the party also trying to get it. So,
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that all of a sudden the players are trying to set up a distraction and something else happens that creates a distraction, and next thing you know, the Raven's gone and they don't have it. And then you have all these fake little Raven trinkets in the room as well as the real one. So there's a lot you can do just to put a little spin on it.
Hi, kitty.
Oh, hello, kitty.
Say hi, Jaden. For whatever reason, my computer desk makes a great cat perch, but only when I'm using the computer.
All computer desks make a great cat perches.
Yeah.
You haven't learned that yet?
Yeah, but it's only a perch when I'm using it. That's the thing.
So, finally, the end of this module. let's do our ratings for swords, starting with Nick as always. Nick, how many swords out of 5?
I will give it 3.5 swords.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Maybe.
So 3.5 to 4 swords, because one, it's a unique adventure introductory because it's not really focusing on entirely on combat, and you have and you can modify to different editions rather easily. And it's really short. At first, I thought, that's not really an adventure in itself, but you can really add on to this if you want to. You know, like I said, you can maybe add a whole another level of cellars. Maybe you can add a whole another floor above too, part of his villa. So, and you have a lot of good opportunities, like I said, with NPCs if you want to introduce into the campaign, and the player characters can interact with them in a way, so could lead to plot hooks in the future. So, in that respect, I guess I would give it, I'll give it 4 swords. 4 swords.
4 solid swords from Nick. Matt, what about you?
I'm leaning towards in that 3 range. For me, I see it as it's a nice little starting framework, but I can't see running it just as is. It's also not something I would recommend for players that haven't DM'd a lot and are not comfortable juggling a lot of different characters, because you really do need to really get the full feel of the party to have just some character names and just little personality traits already written up, just so you can pull them out as they're working the room, just talking to people, mingling. But I do see this, you could put so many different plot points, and there's so many ways you could build off of this that I do like it. I think it's more of a framework than an adventure itself. So it's like a foundation that you build upon as opposed to just pulling it out and running as is. So that's why I'm leaning more towards a 3.
Yeah, I actually, that's a good point about as far as the adventure itself. It's like this one, probably you could run it in a couple hours maybe. So it's not very long in itself. So yeah, it's a good framework. Exactly.
I'm going with 4.5 stars. There's my 4.5.
Really? 4.5?
Oh.
No swords? Oh, you want your little app. Okay, cute.
Yeah. So 4.5 swords. I think that while it needs a little bit of polishing, the group 10 Red Crows Press did a great job of putting together a little module that can go a long way, especially with the end results, and it can feed off of tons of adventures, especially even if the characters brag or don't. That Baron, the Lord, can, with his influence and money, can be chasing after the party for adventure after adventure after adventure. So I'm looking at the overall picture of as a DM. Maybe you guys are looking at it as just one thing in itself. I'm looking at it as a whole picture of I can make a campaign out of this with this annoying Baron. I keep saying Baron. This annoying Lord chasing after the party, using resources, having them try to break in, and it's just a constant nuisance that the party will have to try to eliminate him. So I'm going for 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it really depends on what you expect to get out of this module. If you're looking for an adventure, just a standalone adventure, but yeah, if you're using it more as a campaign resource, then I think that's where you get your real value out of it.
Well, yeah, that's why I said this is great for a DM if they're going to have a campaign, and you could introduce those NPCs into this, and there's where all your plot hooks could come in later on.
Yeah.
You know, so. Oh yeah, I was looking as a larger scope as well. Absolutely, as a one shot, probably not so fun, unless you do, like I said, you flesh out the area more, having a lower cellar, quote unquote, dungeon area and stuff like that. Then it would become an adventure in itself. If you get because there's more stuff that they could explore.
Either way. So what is that, an average of 4 stars? 4 swords?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 swords.
4 to 5 swords is an average. That's pretty good for this module. Check it out on RPG Now, drivethroughrpg.com. It is a pay what you want module. Go over there and take a look at it, and if you like it, throw a few copper the way of the author. I think the suggested price was $3. I'm not sure exactly. I got a hold of it a while ago, so definitely check it out and give them a few coppers. Like I said, even if it's like, $1, it's still something to give to the author.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for more reviews as we find more things that people suggest to us. If you want to write us, rfistaff@gmail.com. You can send a voicemail, 570-865-4210. I think next show we'll be either looking at some emails, because I'm going to empty out the email bag. We do have quite a few things. A few emails directed directly at Nick. So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Vicious attacks on Nick will be written. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be reading that next.
Great.
No. No vicious attacks, Nick. You're all right. I'll be doing what Eric Tankar hates the most, an email episode show. He hates that. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't hate that. He just doesn't like people reading it word for word, he was telling me. He's like, if you just sum them up, that'd be better.
We haven't done a mail show. We haven't done a mail show bag in a while.
Well, yeah, we haven't done letters to the editor in what, Matt? 20, 30, 40 episodes?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Or maybe we'll do that. That sounds like a good a show, because people love hearing what other people think. So, and that's what we're about: hearing what others like to do and like to take the ideas and roll with it. And stay tuned next time.
We don't care.
Yeah, and keep the reviews coming. Nick likes reading stars on iTunes, good or bad. Nick is there reading them.
Doesn't matter.
His
I got a
glasses
thick
on.
skin like a Tarrasque.
That's right. What, like an ass? What?
What?
Like a Tarrasque, Tarrasque.
Yes. Keep it old school.
Monster Manual 2. Jeez.
The Roll for Initiative podcast is a production of Wild Games Productions in association with D20Radio.com. You can visit us at rfipodcast.com or contact us on our forums at osrgaming.org or even by calling us at 570-865-4210. This podcast is produced for entertainment purposes only. All other uses are prohibited. And remember, if your magic missile spell doesn't automatically hit, you're playing the wrong edition. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative.
Are you enjoying the show you're listening to right now? Want to help support the show? Why not head over to the Patreon site, patreon.com/WGP. That's patreon.com/WGP. And help support the network for as little as $1.50 a month. That's right, $1.50 a month goes a long way. Thank you.